I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is
The Family Showdown! Greetings and Happy New Year. Yay! It's 2023. 2023. Let's go. Let's go. How many games have you played already? Probably more than us.
2023. We played any?
No. Unless you count video games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we've played some.
All right, folks. So here's the scoop. Variety show time.
It is.
We haven't done one of these since November 29th.
What?
Over a month. So we
It's a long
have
time.
some games to talk about. Not a lot,
Because
holidays and stuff and things.
did you have a holly jolly Christmas? Best time of the year.
So we played 18 games. 18 games since we
Mhm.
last spoke. Some of those multiple times. Some of those multiple times.
Yes.
All right. How's everybody doing? Make sure the sound,
It's
everything's
good to
good.
see everybody popping into the chat. Good to see y'all.
All right.
Chatting it up. Hello, hello.
Let's
Oh, we're diving right in. Shabaloosh.
let's find the button here.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
Here we go.
Woohoo.
I think the thing's not updated. Let me fix.
What thing?
I think it had the little numbers at the bottom. Did it have the numbers? Maybe I'm crazy. Those numbers aren't
They're
right.
not good. Thank you.
Yeah, we only played like
And
30.
you too.
30, huh?
Nathan's saying made 2023 be everyone's best year ever. And I'd say preach.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
We played 39 of our 100.
Let's go. Yeah, we're almost there.
So, math-wise, we should be at 82 at this point.
So, what you're saying is if we both stop working until when does this end? When's our year?
March.
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 Oh, we have 2 months.
March. what we're talking about, we had a resolution to play our top 100 combined list in 1 year.
Okay.
March 8th.
So if we play games every
play
day, we just quit working.
If we played a game every day, we still wouldn't make it.
So what I said is if we quit working. Okay.
Yeah, we forgot to update that list.
It's 39.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is 29 out of 100. Whoops.
Yeah, I haven't updated. 39 is the actual number.
Yeah, we have 39. So.
All right, so it's like I
Fear
said,
us.
when I
Fear
jumped right
us.
in, we have
Maybe
18 games we played. 18 different games we played. We'll start off the list. So let's go from worst to best.
Interesting.
Worst to best.
Was
my
there-
worst to
Because
best.
I was gonna say
I've offered Rebecca many times for her to do her worst to best, but she hasn't taken me up on the offer. So it's my worst from best.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
So
It's gonna happen.
so
I just have to not come screeching home right before.
so I got a little story about my number 18.
How, do you really have a worst out of the group of games? we
Yes.
play? Okay.
So
I'm intrigued.
we have someone in the chat that occasionally comes over to our place to play games with us. Occasionally, it's been a while, but occasionally.
Okay.
His track record for quality games is very very suspect, and it held true this time as he introduced us to. Hold on, I gotta find the button. He introduced us to.
Who could that person be?
Oh, that's not it. I thought I updated this.
Uh-oh.
Did I not update it? Yeah, I'm on one. I'm having problems.
Hippocrates.
It's not that.
I was like, I thought you liked that game, man.
It's I must not have saved it for some reason. Help me find it.
Well, I don't know which one
Where is it?
you're asking me to remember.
There it is.
Oh, that.
Hold on, I'm getting it. Yeah.
It's coming. Don't worry.
There you go. John Company, second edition.
John Jacob.
John
Jingleheimer
Company, second edition. I had such high hopes. I had high apple pie in the sky hopes. But it was one of my most anticipated games of the year. I was all excited for it. Yeah. Disappointment abounds.
I'd argue with you, but no. I was
so
not invested.
So this is a heavy economic game, which I love that part of it. It's also brutally mean and attacking.
Yeah.
Like brutally, and we were even nice to each other. We played this like a co-op, and it was still brutally mean.
We were very
The game
nice.
was mean to us. We were mean to us. Life was mean to us. Yeah. This game is for people who have
hey, you know what? If
either very strong friendships or they're ready to get rid of some friends.
Fortunately, apparently, we're holding strong. Apparently, I think. Is he still in the chat? No.
Now, if you like heavy economic games that are really interactive and aggressive, then this might be the game for you.
And maybe you're that type of person that watches those movies, you know, that just beat you down continually, and you find them uplifting, or you just like a little bit of extra reality. Like you're like, you know, this is really true to life because you're sending this ship thousands of miles away. It might not arrive after all the hard work you put into it. Well, that's the game.
So
no, not my shtick. No.
So it's a very heavy economic game that's fairly hard to teach, and we had to literally watch videos to figure out how to play this game.
The rule book was not happy with us. It did not.
On top of that, it's got crazy random dice rolling. Like you literally, the whole point of the game is you go through a certain number of years, and you're a company and you're working together. So it's all you represent a family that's all working together to West Indies Company or whatever it's called. We're all working together for its success. But it's a competitive game. So I want my family to do better than all the other families. And the way the game works is everyone has different people in different positions in the company. So you have like a CEO, and you have like a trading leader guy, and you have a military guy, and you have presidents of different regions and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And we work together to formulate a plan for the year. And we didn't even compete against each other, and the game still kicked us in the teeth. But the companies didn't fail, so we at least did that. But you can conceivably, okay, this is our plan.
Yeah.
And then someone can go, nope, I'm going to do something else.
We could, I mean,
I'm going to throw a wrench into all of it.
As Guild of Merchants or whatever that was, you guys were like, okay, hey, we're going to send the ships here and here and here and stuff. And I'm like, and then when it's my turn, when I actually say to do those things, I can decide just not to do it.
Right.
Just straight up. Could have caused all of it to fail. We didn't do that.
We played it very cooperatively.
We were like,
and
let's
it was
make this
still
succeed.
Brutally mean.
Let's try to get some money going. And so, of course, after that, we're like making fun of each other's leaders because they get booted out. We'd vote them out afterwards because we're like, man, you were terrible on that campaign. You're fired, you know. It was the best thing we had going. It was the dice.
So, I mean, you literally could have this great plan, this perfect plan.
It was rough.
And then you roll dice to see who you succeed.
But that's reality.
In one little piece of the plan. And you have like maybe a 97% chance of success. And you still fell. And then that blows the entire year. The entire plan falls apart.
Yep.
And you just get angry.
I don't want reality in my board games, apparently.
So
that was too much.
I gave this game a 6. And the only reason I gave it a 6, reason is the economic part of it and the business part of it was very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay.
But the game
hates us.
Could be mean. And this is the type of game where if you got a bunch of random people together to play this and they basically played extremely competitively.
Oh, you would not get anything done.
It would be table flipping moments. So I watched this.
Not good table
so
flipping.
Heavy Cardboard we watched the video for that to shout out to them to help us figure out how to play this. I went back and watched their play. Yeah. And they played competitively. Yeah. And their company failed in round 3.
In round 3. So I mean, there's just no.
They actually the first 2 rounds they were mean to each other and competitive. The third round they said, okay, let's work together and do this, and they got miserable dice rolls and the company failed. Okay. It's just not the game for me.
That's not.
Just not the game for me.
Yeah.
And this is just I like a competitive game, but I don't like games where you tend to like games like this sometimes where it's semi-cooperative but still competitive.
Yeah, like CO2.
Right.
CO2 I like a lot.
But enough about John Company. I did not enjoy it. I gave it maybe an 8 for the economic side of the game and a 1 for the actual execution, which averages out to 4.5 and just being nice, I made a 6. I don't know.
That is the weirdest math I've heard out of a math person in a while.
So yeah, it just not my kind of game. I mean, I think I would enjoy it if
Twice.
if everyone went into it, and you shouldn't have to do this and say, okay, we're all going to work together,
Let's all be
and
friends.
whoever comes out on top comes out on top. But that's not the way the game's designed. The game's designed to literally,
It's like life, baby.
you go, okay, we're gonna do this. You need to do this, and then when it comes to Rebecca's turn to do what she needs to do, she goes, okay, I will do that if you pay me extra money.
I mean,
or
I
you
could have
bribe
done
me,
that. I could have been.
or the whole plan's gonna fall apart. Start bribing me, or I'm gonna throw a wrench in this. That is some people like that. Oh, not me. All right.
I just like that Tommy's selling it, and people are like, and Joel's like, no, wait for them to sell it to us first. I was like,
Yeah, this one's it's disappointing. But the only reason I didn't rate it so low is that I can see
Again,
there is some
design,
people
yeah,
that are going to love this game.
I was gonna say,
absolutely love this game.
if you like that style of game, this is really solid.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. All right,
It really is.
let's move on.
But
Let's move on. So that's the only game we don't own. We own all the other 17. So let's
wow, okay.
let's keep a trucking. So number
Let's
17, I give it a 6. It kind of fell flat. I'm going to give it another chance before I kick it to the curb, but it fell flat with our group, and that is Green Team Wins.
I don't think we were rowdy enough for this game.
Yeah, the group we played with it just went through the motions.
Yeah, we were kind of quiet.
So Green Team Wins is a party game where it's kind of trivia-esque, but it's trivia kind of among the players. So basically, you get a question like, what's the best flavor of ice cream? So everyone scribbles down their answer for the best flavor of ice cream. Then you reveal, and whoever's in the majority is the correct answer, and they become the green team, and they potentially get points. Everyone who puts something other than that becomes the orange team,
I think
and
we were
they
just.
don't get points.
I think we were just all too stubborn. Is the problem, because people say that the majority would answer. We're all like, "You're wrong. This is wrong."
And that's pretty much the gist. I didn't like. There's all kinds of kind of quirky rules depending on how ties work. So if it's multiple teams that tie, then this happens. If it's two teams that tie, that happens. If there's no majority, it's just there was all these kind of like almost a flow chart of what happens when a tie happens. So the game kind of stalls out when you tie. You're like, okay, what do we do? Who gets points?
Right.
If you don't tie, it's fine. But if there's ties, then it kind of stalls out.
Right.
But I want to give it another shot just to see if it will work well with someone else. I think it could be. It's more of a.
Let me play this. Let me see.
It's more of a icebreaker discussion builder kind of game.
Yes, for sure.
Right, like so, because there is. I actually went through the deck. Is this the one I went through the deck and pulled out the controversial game questions?
No.
Was that a different game?
Different game.
Oh yeah, it was a different game. Anyway, so this one is fun. It's interesting. It just we kind of went through the motions, unfortunately, when we played it. So
I think this might be one that needs to be near the max player count as well.
Probably.
We were not.
Probably. We were low
I'm
end.
thinking that might be part of it.
So,
I suspect.
I
think there'd be more rowdiness with that.
So it gets a 6 right now. Or 6 or 7.
I don't know. I might take this to school. I think that the high school
6. It gets a 6 right now, but we'll see what happens when we give it another shot.
I don't want to say.
These are
I'll
going your way.
happily. Oh, see again. The high schoolers, they would love this.
All right. Let's move on to my number 16. 16. Where is it? 16. Yes. So this is giving this a 7. This one's for a party game. That's about where a lot of party games land for me. 7s and 8s, and this is just gets a 7.
Okay.
And that is Wavelength. Wavelength. So we had one of our friends, a couple, over for New Year's Eve, I guess, and we played a ton of party games. And this is one of the ones we played. I like this game. It's interesting.
It's so funny.
It's just interesting. It's an interesting concept to me. It doesn't seem to have that wow moments, right? You're kind of like, yeah. So that's why it gets a 7 for me. So what Wavelength is you're giving a topic that has two ends to a range. So basically, it's hot and cold, or bright and dark, or happy or sad, or whatever. So it's a range, right?
Good influence, bad influence.
You randomize where you are on that wavelength. So from, let's say, happy to sad. So maybe you're way over on the sad side, or way over on the happy side, or maybe you're right up, straight up the middle, or whatever. So that's randomized where you are in that range. And so one person on your team knows where that range is, and then you give a clue to kind of direct the team to where that range is.
Because you want them to get dead center.
So you put like way on the happy side, you say my wedding day or whatever, right? And that's way over there. And the sad maybe last year. So basically and then the other team kind of guesses with a little dial where they think you are on that wavelength that on based on your clue. And then the other team goes, okay, we think it's more or less where the team put it, the other team does. And you reveal and you get points based on how close you are.
I love it. I think this one's always a good conversation starter, and it's so funny too when you're playing with groups with people you know, because then everyone's going to be like, oh, which way are they going with this? Like, you kind of get that meta game going with it and stuff, and I love that. I think that's really fun. So I enjoy this one a lot.
So this is a good one. 7. Give it 7. That's just good for me. Party game. Not many party games get 8 pluses for me. So. All right, let's move on to number 15. Where's 15? So many numbers. Where's 15? There it is. I give this a 7. Well, this is another one we played.
Yay!
So Clover.
I love this one.
You can tell the back of the box is upside down.
Coraloo.
So
what's going on?
Clover. So this is another one we played New Year's Eve. Played this. I like this one. It's interesting. So Clover, if you haven't played, you're given a bunch of little word tiles that have 4 words around the side, and then you're gonna get 4 of those, and you put them on the little base.
I'll show you the base. It's cool.
And then each side of that base will have 2 of those words together, and you have to come up with a clue that matches 2 of those words, right? And so you put 4 clues around the edge of that base, and then you take your clues off, the little tiles off, and you add a tile to that group, and then you mix them up and you give them to the rest of the crew, and they try to guess how the tiles go on the thing. So it's kind of interesting. It promotes group discussion and things like that.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
The only reason I don't like this, the only reason this doesn't get a higher rating for me is that it stalls out the fun, I guess, in a way, because once you have your tiles, you're sitting at your board going, and just staring at your board.
Oh, I don't know. I think.
And you just stare at your board for like 5 or 10 minutes, coming up with the 4 words to go around the edge.
Oh, okay. While you're building up the game,
right?
Okay,
so it's kind of
it's
like quiet time, and then discussion time, and then quiet time, and then discussion time.
I enjoy that though. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to kind of get that.
So,
I enjoy this one. I like this one more than
it's good. I mean, I enjoy it, but I like the discussion part. I don't necessarily like that everyone's sitting around quietly figuring out their clues part.
Yeah, but how else would you set up the game?
I don't know.
Oh, well, there you go.
Go quickly. Just first thing comes to your mind, right?
Oh my gosh, you guys would never get what's going through my brain.
All right.
Never get it.
So that one, I give that one a 7 as well. So let's move on to my 14. Give it a 7.5. Halvesies. I got to do the halvesy dance. 7.5. That is Stella.
Only a 7.5. This game, I like this.
It's
game.
a family favorite game.
This one's funny. The discussions in this one are even funnier than So Clover to me sometimes. Because, okay, you've got the Dixit cards, which are already kind of trippy and weird anyway, in the best way possible. And you've got these cards, and so you're looking at the same tableau of cards, but then you get a word or phrase or something like emotional.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to pick cards that you think convey emotional. But you also want everyone else to match you. So you don't want to get too aggressive with picking a whole bunch of them. You don't want to be too stingy and only pick like 2. Unless the cards are really bad for that particular word.
Right.
And so now you're like, okay, I picked this one. Did you guys pick this one? You're like scared to look. And everyone's like, yeah, I picked that. Okay, good. I got the score, it's hilarious.
And if you pick someone that no one picked, you crap out.
And then everybody's like, why didn't you pick that? Look, it's clearly emotional, right? I love this one. It's hilarious.
It's a fun little game. It's another, there's a lot of these games that are kind of conversation builders and discussion.
Super fun that way. I love that. Yeah.
So anyway, Stella, if you like Dixit, this is better than Dixit, in my opinion. So
I think this one facilitates more people to play.
Right.
Dixit, certain people probably wouldn't enjoy it as much.
It's less
downtime. Less downtime and less making you come up with something on the fly.
Correct.
Because some people under
You don't
pressure
have to
just
give
go blank.
clues. The clues are given for you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
that.
And I think that's hard for some people to do under pressure. Or like if
Under
I'm
pressure.
tired, I'll just blank out. It's
So
just
Tommy mentioned in the chat that just one is better than what was it? Better
wavelength or So Clover probably. I think he was talking about So Clover.
No, was it So Clover?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, it is. This just one is my next one up. So I give this one an 8.
Oh, just one's fun.
So just one.
This always goes over well.
We played a lot
Always.
of party games on New Year's Eve. So
Yeah, this one
just one is you're given a random word. Everyone around the table, except for the person who's knows the word. We're gonna write a clue for the word. Try to get that person to guess the word. It's a cooperative game.
Yeah.
And the gimmick, the stick, is that if you write the same clues, they're eliminated. So if the clue is circus, which is on the back of the box, and you have 4 people and 3 people write clown,
You're in
all
trouble.
those clues that say clown are eliminated, and you're left with one other clue. So
it's great.
it's a fun little game. It's interesting. It's funny when you get like one clue, or you get 3 clues and they're so obscure because no one wants to copy each other. You're like, what?
Well, or it could be several different things. Like I'm trying to think of like something like chicken. You could go very many different directions with it. You know, you might think of food, or you might think of someone who's a coward, or you might think like, so people are going to put clues that when you first look at them are just way out in left field, right? Until you find what that common thread is.
Or
they can get pretty
they happen to
grainy.
pick 2 clues that match perfectly for a different word.
Yes,
And
that
you're
happened.
Like, what?
And then you're just kind of squinting at
Anyway,
it.
it's a fun little party game.
Fantastic. I love it.
Plays. We haven't been saying how many players. These are a lot of high player count.
A higher player count, yeah. But these are all too. I think every single one of these has been very quick, snappy games too. None of them last more than 30 minutes. Like this one's 20, which again, I don't know. We don't usually keep score much with these. We're gotten to the point now where
We kept score.
well,
I kept score.
well, that's true. We did.
And
with
we
this one.
did horrible.
We did. It was funny, but a
We
lot
got
of
the
times,
try better category.
That's right. We did officially score just to see.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we just play this and keep going around until everyone's kind of getting sick of it. Because it's just more fun to play that way. I don't know. It was funny just to see.
Move on to my number 12. I give this an 8. It was originally a 7 when we played it 2-player. I bumped it to an 8 because we got to play it with 4 players. And that is
not
Ready,
surprising.
Set, Bet.
This is a lot of fun
Ready,
with 4
Set, Bet.
players. Oh my gosh.
This one's fun. I enjoy it quite a bit.
The app is really fun, and it's interesting, like you said, because when we were playing it 2-player, you and I would just wait to the last minute and just snipe each other, and it was pretty easy.
Right.
You can't do
You blink,
that.
even in 4 players, you blink and the bets for a certain horse are completely filled up.
Yeah, or even worse than that, you think you've got it covered and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this and that, and a third horse sneaks across the finish line that you weren't waiting for.
Right.
And then you're like, all bets are done, and you're like, I have got, coins, what? It's pretty funny. I like using the app.
So if you haven't figured it out, this is a horse racing
greatness.
betting game. It's a horse betting game. You're not racing horses, you're betting on the horses. There's 2 ways to play. Someone can be the administrator, the moderator, the whatever. They can roll the dice and
Horse
roll
racer
horses, and they can go that way, or you can use the app, and then if you use the app, everyone can play. It's just a real-time betting on horses. Unlike horse racing, where you bet before the race starts, this one you actually use real-time. You're betting while the race is going on. At some point, when 3 horses get far enough along, the bets are cut off, and then the race finishes out. So there's a randomness at the end that you can't account for. But it's not like you just bet and then you watch what happens.
Well, what's fun about this, too, is you don't have just I'm betting on who's going to win. I'm betting on who's going to get first or second. I'm going to bet on someone who places first, second, or third. You've also got these unique cards that are going to go across the top, the prop bets that are like, I bet that number 7 horse is going to beat all the other, like all the blue horses. It's got some really weird things like that. And then each round, there's like this specialized...
Exotic bets.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Exotic bet cards that come
like
out.
Like photo finish, or there's a runaway leader, or stuff like that.
Yeah, that you can put bets on too.
Get.
And they're harder to think about because you're sitting here worried about the middle part, the first, second, and third. And you're like, oh, but there's all these other options. And after the first round, you get a superpower. Yeah. I love those. Those are so much fun. Sometimes you get an extra betting chip. Like, you got a really cool one that was like, you get 7 money, but you lose like 5 if you're wrong, which
Right.
is expensive because
Right.
usually you lose like one or two.
Yeah, or none.
Or nothing. And so it like raises the stakes higher. Or what was the one you guys were getting? Oh, if the dice roll like snake eyes or boxcars, you get like that. Or anytime a certain dice rolls, you get a coin, so you get a little extra dollar on the side. I got one of those, and there's all these cool little quirky things on the side.
It's just more that you have to keep track of. It just makes the game more and more frantic as time goes by. That's the point,
gives you the tension.
Right?
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Is you want to get excited and crazy.
It's like, I gotta remember about this, and then what's going on in the race? Oh, I got this other card going on. I should bet on this.
It's like you like playing bingo, but with like 20 cards.
Right. Anyway, it's a fun one.
No, it's a
great. It plays up to 7, 8, 9.
Oh my gosh!
9 players.
Can you imagine the chaos?
Insanity with 9 players.
I want to play that with a max player count now. That sounds hilarious.
All right, give that one 8. Let's move on to my number 11. I'm just not even going to say anything. It speaks for itself. It's hand-to-hand wombat. This game was funny. This is a laugh. This is one of the games you just giggle and laugh the whole time you're playing it.
And it was. I have to agree with Vassal on this one. It is just as fun to watch this game.
I didn't get to watch. I got to watch.
Oh, braggadocio much, but it is just as funny to watch it. Yeah, they were like, "You're the traitor, Rebecca," and I just suck at the game, and I was trying to help people, and they were like, traitor." But so I got to watch, and it is hilarious to see people's tactics as they're like fumbling around doing stuff. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm helping you," and I'm like, "No, you're not. This is funny."
So to back up, it's a dexterity game.
Oh yeah, you got to
listen to this. It's a dexterity game that you play with your eyes closed, and there's a traitor. That's all you need to know.
That's all. It is hand to hand.
So basically, you're stacking up these.
You're stacking up wombat poop.
It's gonna be kind of loud, but I'll show you kind of what you're doing.
Okay.
I'll try to do it quietly. I'll try to do it quietly.
Clack gently.
So you have these little
I love that
things, and you're stacking things on top of it. And you have to
all of this.
You're creating a pyramid of little things that you're stacking, right?
Yes.
Which it seems not too bad, and it even has little braille like knobs on the side, so you can see what number.
You can count and feel how many numbers it has, which tells you, it's got 1 through 6, I think.
But meanwhile, there's someone taking your things off your stack, hiding things off to the side, moving stuff around, piling things underneath the one everyone's looking for.
But all of that is taking place inside this lid.
Yeah, inside the lid of the box. This is your play area.
Which thankfully they made pretty darn sturdy.
Yeah, it's a very sturdy box.
It's probably the sturdiest board game box we've had in a while.
So, it's crazy. It's just laugh out loud. It's fun. It's hilarious.
You know what, Sarah's? That's the only way to make this game better, I think.
What?
He asks, can you throw burritos at the opposing wombats? I say you should be able to.
So on top of the hidden traitor aspect, you play the advanced game, some of the wombats
oh gosh, I forgot
have
about
quirks. Like there's one that's needy.
Oh yeah, the needy guy.
That he can't pick up the little pieces. He has to ask people to hand him the pieces. She's like, I need a 5. Can someone give me a 5? I need a 5. Oh and then there's one there's one that's timid or something like that. He won't put the pieces on the thing,
but he'll hand them to somebody.
But he hands them to someone else. And there's another person who's overconfident, but once they can't take the pieces off the thing once they're placed on.
Plus the confused one that we didn't play with that.
The confused one halfway through the game, he becomes a bad guy.
Yeah, well, and here's so Corlu's asking, do you still have to guess who the wombat traitor is?
Yes,
and that's where this gets exciting because every round you have to. Everyone does the finger pointy thing.
Yeah,
and says who they think the traitor is, and so someone's going to get booted off the island, so to speak.
Potentially, if there's a majority.
And so, which is what happened with me.
You kind of acted very traitorish.
No, I just stunk at the game. There's a huge difference here. I was trying to help so bad. It was painful.
Anyway, you vote people off, and you get points based on how many towers you complete. There's 3 towers, so if you complete 3 towers, you get 2 points. You complete 2 towers, the good team gets 1 point. If you complete 1 tower, the bad team gets a point.
Yeah.
If you complete no towers, the bad team gets 2 points.
So
it's the first 1 to 3 wins. So it's
as we're surviving, yeah, it's very fast, but everybody's pointing fingers and yelling, and it is hysterical.
It is funny.
The tactics that the evil wombats use are hilarious
Anyway,
and varied.
Hand-to-hand wombat.
Yes.
All right, number 10. Where's my number 10?
It is pretty hilariously.
Number 10, I give this
awesome.
an 8. This is one of our Rebecca's and I's favorite couples game, which we played on New Year's with the other couple.
Yep.
Compatibility. We played this one live with you guys a few times. We did the board game compatibility, right?
Yes, that was fun. I liked having the specialized cards, as it were.
So all this is you're given a topic like happiness, and you have a deck of cards. Everyone has the exact same deck of cards, and each couple secretly looks through the cards and they pick out pictures that represent happiness to them.
Right.
Then they order them from best to worst out of the best ones. So like they're doing like
rank them.
Their top 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everyone reveals and they compare. And if you get an exact match, you get a certain number of points. If you get a match but in different positions, you get points. And it's just a race to the finish. Whoever scores the most points. But what's interesting is you're moving along a track and the number of cards you're using changes as the closer you get to the end. So if someone's running away with it, they're going to get less and less things. At one point, Rebecca and I got stuck on one card. We get to pick one card.
We were just
so you had to get an exact match with one card, and we just couldn't ever match the whole time. And the other couple
somebody
caught
would
up
decide
and
to do
winning.
some kind of running gag card, and then the other person's like, "Okay, I guess I'll go with a running gag card," and then they decided to be serious the next round. We could not,
It was hilarious.
It's hilarious. I love this game. We always inevitably have one card that just cracks people up, and so there's like the gag card.
I like the little baby card.
You did throw the baby on.
The little baby card is my favorite.
Yeah.
A little sad, like
just
I don't know if it's sad or maybe he has gas or something.
He's just sitting there. It's just a baby, not making a face.
Anyway, I give this an 8. It's fun. It's a great couples game. This came out like a bazillion years ago.
But yes,
95.
Arguably the best game of the decade.
This game's
I love it. They put it on every side of the box.
28 years old. Holy good goodness. Anyway.
Why did you have to put a number to that? Why?
Like the 90s were the last decade, right?
Yes, they were. And don't tell me otherwise.
All right, let's move on to my number 9. We're still in the 8s. We're still in the ones I give an 8. Yet another game we played New Year's Day. No, New Year's Eve. Wits and Wagers. We have the Las Vegas version.
Baby.
So this use the party edition for Las Vegas. We have the mat off the side and bring the mat. This ginormous betting mat. Anyway, Wits and Wagers is a trivia game mixed with poker. So basically, you're given a question that has a numerical answer. Everyone secretly likes an answer. You throw all your answers out. You order them on a betting mat, and then everyone bets on which answer they think is the correct answer.
This is always fun. It always seems to be popular with pretty much everybody.
So you get a tiny little bonus if you're the correct answer, but for the most part, it's how you bet. So even if you don't know the answer, it's kind of judging by what other people did. Maybe you can deduce where it might land.
Yep.
Because if it's like 20, 25, 28, 29, 352, you probably know the 352 probably isn't the right answer. But that's not always true. Sometimes someone knows something. Anyway, the only reason I won is I watched a documentary the night before they had.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
They had the answer to one of the questions.
Exact number.
And I knew the exact answer.
But that happened before. I got one that was a musical thing about classical music that I knew the answer straight up.
Right.
So it was like every once in a while you might actually know one, but most of the time no. It's unless you just know weird things like how many thousands of turkeys were sold and eaten in the United States in 2013. You know, I mean, just like there's some really random questions out there, but
yeah, Neutral mentioned, just kind of off topic, mentioned the most anticipation list. I usually do that list end of January, first part of February time frame to give people a little bit of time to announce their games for the year. But I'll do that, most anticipated, but usually half of them don't come in. That's just the way the world works. Anyway, Wits and Wagers, I give it an 8. It's a great one. It's a fun for the whole family.
That's right.
All right. Are we to the 9s yet? No, we're still in the 8s.
What?
Rebecca would give this probably a 9, but I give it an 8. That is my number 8 gets an 8, and that is
excuse me,
Alchemist.
This game is awesome and hilarious.
I rate it so low because I destroy everybody.
Excuse me, sir. I knew all of the stuff thingamadoogles.
Yeah, like 4 turns after.
No, I think I actually knew it before
Alchemist
you,
is a deduction.
but I couldn't get my
is a deduction worker placement game.
Oh, man.
So basically, the best way to play this one, this is
Man.
kind of like Ready, Set, Bet. It's best played with an app, but you can have a moderator run the game. You're just mixing stuff together and seeing what happens. You're trying to learn the different formulas, the different combinations of, if I mix mushrooms with a crow's foot, I get like a poison potion or whatever. You're trying to figure out those different combinations. Heroes are coming to town wanting certain potions, and you can sell to them if you know how to mix the right potion that they want. You test the potions on students at the university. They get sick and charge people more money to drink more potions.
Or
you can drink it
be
yourself
brave.
and go crazy and dance naked
Yep.
in the streets or whatever that you do.
Oh, yeah, it says that you get, yeah, that's
do
right.
cartwheels in the
You do
town square
cartwheels.
naked. Anyway,
It actually says that in the rule book. It was
and
hilarious.
then once you really think you've got it figured out, you can do decrees that say, I know exactly what the formula for this ingredient
Oh,
is.
yeah, posting your theories or whatever it
Yeah.
was. Like, yeah.
So
Or you can debunk those theories.
it's a fun little deduction game. Rebecca loves it. I like it a lot. So take that for what it will.
I like it a
Rebecca is
lot.
more of the puzzle freak among us, but it's a great game. It's a great deduction game. I like that it's worker placement. That makes it a little bit better for me. So there you go.
It's just ridiculous.
Alchemist.
Me likey this game. Love it, love it, love it. So much fun. All right.
All right.
Bring
Let's
it
move on.
It's just getting better and better.
Let's move on to my
Getting
number
better and better.
7. I think this may be the last of the 8. It is the last of the 8.
What? Okay.
The space-based killer that
Speak
is
for yourself, good sir. Speak
Bad
for yourself.
Company.
2 different games to me.
Crush. Space.
This is so much fun.
So this is an obvious
silly
variant
game.
of space base. I'm sure they wouldn't claim it's that, but that's what it is. It's a variant of space base. Basically, you have your gang, and you basically have gang members number 2 to 12, and you're rolling dice. You're activating those gang members. You're getting resources. Use those resources to complete contracts. Meanwhile, you're running from the cops, and you're recruiting new people to your gang. So it's very much like Space Base. In fact, when you recruit people, you get new cards.
Oh, that part. I was like,
that makes your each number more powerful. Unlike Space Base, where if you played it, you can retire when you get a new number. Let's say I get a new 6. I actually retire my 6 and put it so that it gives me a benefit when other players roll that number. Bad Company doesn't do that. Your 6 is, you just improve your 6, and then on other people's turns, you get the benefit of whatever that number is. So it's a great game.
it's so funny.
Slightly, maybe just a hair more to teach than Space Base, but it has more going on. That's why I like it more than Space Base.
Right.
I like contract fulfillment games. Those are fun for me. Anyway.
Well, and it's funny too because the police car doesn't move at a steady pace or anything. It's a dice roll. So he moves and fits and starts, and you might too because you might be going after resources and not spending much time driving. And it is hilarious because you can also decide if you want to try to catch up. There's a couple shortcuts where you can kind of cut across the track, but you're deciding to leave behind some great benefits because every time you cross certain spaces, you get little freebies. So there's all this craziness going on just with this little tiny board with the cars, let alone your space-based board, like you said, with all the dice rolling numbers and your team and all their perks and stuff. It's just really cute, hilarious, fun stuff.
There you go, Bad Company. It appeared in North America for like a split second and then disappeared again. So I don't know if this is going to come out or not. I think you can get it out of Canada. Poor Lou got, I think, Board Game. What's the name of it? Board Game. It's a Canadian board game company. Anyway, they got it for a little bit, and then it sold out. I don't know if they got any more copies of it.
Oh no, Nathan! If we played this, we would not let anybody win.
I don't let anyone win.
Nope.
Except her. I let her win occasionally.
What? Oh, it's on. We're about to have some technical.
All right, let's move on to my number 6. I give it an 8.5.
Technical.
8.5. I'll explain why I give it an 8.5. Oh, it's so heavy. That's Bitoku. We finally got Bitoku to the table.
Yay!
It was sitting on our shelf of shame for a hot minute, as they say. Is that what the kids say?
Good grief! Stop.
For like months and months and months, sitting on our
the
shelf
kids
of
say.
shame. Finally got it played. I give it an 8.5. The reason it's not a 9 is it has got a lot of overhead to get this game to the table. It is not something you're going to throw down and play quickly. It's got a lot of stuff.
Yep.
A lot of stuff you have to put out on your player boards. A lot of stuff you have to put out on the board. It's just, I mean, this thing is heavy.
It's
It
chock
is-
full
it
of
is- Here, I'll show
stuff
you.
again.
I'll show you how chock-a-block full it is of stuff. Look at that.
It's another one of those that's
See how
yeah,
that
you
stuff's
can't
falling
even
out.
tilt it.
You see that? You see that?
And
it-
everything's punched, and we took out any extra.
That is
yeah, that's,
everything.
That's everything in the game. That's,
It is component.
Whew.
Cornucopia. Wrong holiday, but cornucopia.
That's not just a Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Of components in this thing. So I would give it a 9 for gameplay. I give it an 8 for setup. So there it lands at 8.5. I actually did the math right this time. It's a great game. It is fun. It's interesting. It's got some cool mechanisms, but
We had to watch a video again.
Yes,
to figure out
the
what
rule
the heck
book
was going
wasn't
on.
that
Rule
great,
book.
but we figured it out eventually.
Yep.
But this one, I just feel this is going to have some board game inertia, as I call it. So basically, it's getting it off the table, off the shelf, and
then
getting
we're
it to
gonna
the
have
table
to-
and setting it up is like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'll play the game next to it.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it was an enjoy. I enjoyed the play of it. I had a lot of fun. I found it interesting.
Oh, the video that we watched of the how to play was a new person. Did you write it down?
No.
Do you think you can find it? We found
We
somebody,
found a new person, on the
that does
internet.
how to videos, and we really like
Yeah, I
the style
subscribed
he
to him.
uses.
He does a good job. Let me see. Yeah, you're right. I'll look him up. So,
And he's got a
talk about
lovely
Bitoku.
accent. We
You
were
remember anything
talking about
Bitoku?
Bitoku. Yes and no. It was dense with color.
So it's
And-
Game in a Nutshell is the name of the channel.
Okay, game in a nutshell.
It's I'm sure I'm butchering this. Nithrania.
Nithrania.
Nithrania?
Nithrania sounds like
I think he's from whatever the Czech's called now.
Czechia?
Czechia. Anyway, I don't know. He's from somewhere in Eastern Europe. I don't know if he
He's got
actually.
an awesome accent.
I don't
too,
know
and
if he
he's-
said where he's from. I've watched several of his videos. He does great how to play videos. Amazing.
Yeah, they were really good.
Succinct,
Start to finish. Yeah.
succinct, perfect. Anyway,
He
great.
talks about how to set it up before you start too, like, the whole shebang, and it was really nice because like if they have the terms, the weird quirky names for stuff, he will tell you what they are at the start and like lay it out. I really like that.
So yeah, we watched the video. We were ready to play.
This
So, all right.
I didn't know much about the theme, and it's another one of those where you're like, yeah,
Nature,
theme,
spirit,
theme, whatever. This is heavy Euro game,
Great spirit
and
has wisely and righteously governing the lives of all who live within the forest.
you're breaking your own rules.
I
Reading
read
the back
one
of the next-
sentence. That's one sentence limit.
But yeah, it's
In Spanish, it's
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Anyway,
Send your hate emails.
so this
to,
is
no.
I don't know the Veer. I don't know if this is their first big game. It's the only one I know of that's like a real big game. I mean, they did Red Cathedral, but that's a much lighter game.
Yeah, I love Red
The
Cathedral too.
components are off the charts.
That's the thing.
The
That's
artwork is
beautiful,
amazing,
but
woo, oof,
But I think
there's a lot of setup.
it's a lot of setup, but worth it. I think I want to play it again fairly soon before completely.
You're gonna set it up for me.
No.
There you go. See, and board game inertia. All right, let's move on. My number 5. We finally reached the 9. So my top 5 are 9s or 10s. We played this one. We just missed our 2022 best of the year list.
Oh yeah.
This would have been
okay.
number 4 or 5, probably.
Ooh, okay, that's fair.
4
I
or
can see that out of
5
you
on
though.
My 2022
You were
best games.
Pretty hyped up when we played this.
And that is Wayfarers of the South Tigris, the new series from Renegade and what's the designer guy? I'm horrible with names. Shem Phillips.
Oh, okay.
The West Kingdom games.
Mhm,
Those games. I enjoyed it. This one is going to land maybe my first or second favorite. This or Paladins is probably my favorite.
Wow.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I love the dice placement, dice manipulation in this game. It's really cool. This is a really solid game. If you like Paladins, you're probably going to like this game. It is solid. I'm looking forward to the series. I hope they're doing more with the dice placement and the dice manipulation. I hope that's the theme for this series. I hope. I don't know. It's really cool. Tableau building, engine building, resource management, dice placement, dice mitigation, dice everything.
Okay, 60 to 90 minutes. I was just looking at this one. Wow. You know, a lot of times you're like, okay, this is linked to this and blah, blah, blah. I felt like this one's very circular. They did an amazing job of, if you go to do this, well, it's going to cause the chain to go to this and this and this. But if you go over to this, then it's going to change. I mean, it's all, I think I discussed this before. It feels like if you go down a rabbit hole with something, you're off on a bunch of side quests. You'll still go and get victory points and whatever you're going for, but from a completely different angle. And it's fascinating to see that you can do that with this game. I think that, I don't know, I want to play it again because everything was so interconnected. At first it was a little overwhelming to kind of get the gist of where should I start? What should I do? I felt stalled out at first.
Yeah.
With that. But it's, oh man. And the little track, I want to play with the track more. You went roaring down the track. The main board
the journaling track?
Yeah, the journaling track, which kind of threw me for a loop at first because I'm like, journaling, it looks like you're mining or something. Like, right. It's a weird, the way the board looks doesn't seem the same to me. But you get some crazy benefits and stuff, but you really have to ramp up your engine to be able to continue journaling past a certain point. So you really want to focus on the journaling goals. Oh, man. Because if you get sidetracked on that, you get left behind in the dust. Like, Hunter destroyed me on that.
I did.
So there's some
destroyed
focus.
You. With my journaling.
Yes, you got the mad journaling skills. But it's really neat, but wow, you do have so much to pay attention to. I feel like this one is like a whole nother level above the complication of the other games. I think this one's heavier.
I don't.
That's me.
I disagree.
Really?
I disagree. It's about paladin weight.
You think so? Well, paladins is pretty heavy too, though.
It's about paladin weight.
I think it's a little heavy.
Paladin got all those different areas that you do different things in.
Yeah, that's true.
Building the wall and doing the little board.
It is similar. That's true.
There's a lot going on.
That's true.
Anyway,
I feel like it's a little more focused.
It's awesome,
but
I recommend it.
I like it.
Great. The one thing I find interesting is I'm curious how people are going to play this game because that journaling track we're talking about decides when the game ends. So
yeah,
if you literally,
true.
Everyone at the table ignores that journaling track, the game literally can last forever.
Yeah.
It can last forever. But the benefits of doing up that track are
they're good.
So
I mean, they really
enticing. If you really want to be,
you do want to do it.
You do want to be moving on that track.
It's true. You want to do that.
All right. That's it.
Good stuff.
My number 5, Wayfarers of the South Tigris. I give it a 9. Move on to my number 4. I give it a 9 as well. It was on not tippy top, but near the top of my 2022 games. We played it again just to see where it's going to fall before that, and that is Merchants of the Dark Road.
I know a shortcut.
This game is...
Oh, man.
I would almost give this a 10. The only reason I give it a 9 is because there is some kind of luck on what items come up.
Boo! Lame.
But I love this game. It's awesome. It feels almost D&D meta in the fact that you're a merchant. You're going around to town buying wares to sell to adventurers. You're going out and traveling a dangerous journey to the outer cities and the dark road to sell your wares and drop off adventurers. You can go explore ruins and get exotic items that you could sell.
For sure.
So it very much felt like you take a step back from a D&D campaign and you're that merchant guy that just wanders in town and is like, hey, I got some stuff to sell. What do you want to buy? That kind of thing.
Yep.
You really can ham this up. Well, at least I do.
I don't know what you're talking about. I did too.
It was fun. I enjoyed this quite a bit. The only minus I think is you can join people on journeys to cities, and if those items just aren't available, you're kind of out of luck. What are you looking at?
Right. Oh, I was looking. Wayfarers is solo, has a solo variant as well. You play it solo.
Oh, no.
I was just looking at comments and thinking about that.
This one's
but
solo.
Yes,
you play this solo too.
Oh my gosh, could you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
It's got an automania or something. Anyway, Merchant Dark Road. It's awesome. It's a economic Euro game with a great theme for me. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. Well, you have the little bit of the polyomino Tetris thing, just a little minor little tiny like mini game, right? Of fixing all the stuff, making it fit in your wagon, and trying to get upgraded goods. So there's like all these little side things to do so that when you do go, the more stuff you have in there, the better. And if they're upgraded, you get more. goodies. You get more money. You know, and I like the
It's
little
a really
side stuff
solid.
like that.
It's
A
a
lot of
really,
little
really good
touches.
game. I
A
enjoy
lot
it
of
quite a
neat little
bit.
touches. So
Enjoy it.
it's
quite a bit.
a beauty.
All right. If you want to learn more about that, you can watch our 2022 games because we talked about it quite a bit.
Yep.
All right.
Fun.
Where are we? Number 3?
I don't know.
Yes, we are to number 3. I give this a 10.
Wow.
This is Rebecca's top 10. It's just outside my top 10. It's probably near the very top of our combined list. It is number 4 on our combined top 100.
If you don't know what it is, you will.
From last year. And that is Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
Let's go.
So we played this on a camping trip, and it was a blast and blast. And she's probably played it 100 times at school as well.
I didn't play it 100 times, but I did play it several times during finals, yes. So that was fun.
Deception is a social deduction game where one person is a murderer, and they have items in front of them, and they secretly tell the game master, the forensic scientist who's giving clues to the other players, what items were involved, and the players must, through very indirect clues from the forensic scientist, they have to figure out, deduce who the murderer is and what the items are, which promotes a ton of discussion, a lot of weird redirection by the murderer, but a rope could be poison.
Okay, no, very rarely is somebody that bad at deflecting anymore. Okay, very rarely.
I've seen some pretty bad deflections.
That's true.
It's like mercury's not poison.
You know what? The adults are actually worse at it than the teenagers, which is kind of amusing, actually.
Anyway, it's a great,
Kids get
it's a
all
fun
scientific
game.
with it.
It has all these. If you got the expansion, there's a bazillion different roles with different powers that you can use.
I haven't even played with all of the expansion extra roles because a lot of times I'm introducing new people to the game, so I haven't touched on all of those much. But the little bit I have, they're really cool. But I do love all the cards. They have a bunch of cards. I don't know if they call them nationality cards or something like that, but like they had a Zamboni for Canada and like a baguette from France and like just random items.
Those are Dice Tower expansions.
Were they? Oh, those were marvelous. They're just
were.
A great little touch.
Dice Tower Kickstarter stuff, maybe?
And it's like, it was just, I don't know. It's always fun. I always get a kick out of this, and it's neat to introduce this game to people who've never played games like this before. Right. It's so much fun. They have a great time.
All right, let's move on to my number 2. Rebecca's number 1, but it's my number 2 because she doesn't make this list. But I do give it a 10. It was my favorite game.
One of these days, I'll just surprise you.
It was my favorite game of all time at one point. Not anymore. It's kind of creeping slowly down my list.
How dare!
And that is a Viticulture. It's a Tuscany box, but it has Viticulture and Tuscany in it. Well, Rebecca talked about it. It's her favorite game of all time. So
this was a lot of fun. We played this, and we used the little messenger guy, and what's the other guy? Postman or something like that.
Postman.
So one of them, there's specialty meeples. This is normally just a worker placement game, and you're going to get your fields, and you're going to grow your grapes, and you're going to harvest the grapes, and you're going to turn it into wine, and then sell off the wine, which is like your contract fulfillment, where you get your victory points and stuff. So there's extra specialty meeples that you can do in some of these variants.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in the Essential Edition or not. I don't know what's in the Essential. Do we have the original Tuscany?
We have the old school stuff, so y'all can figure that out. I'm done explaining this a million times. It's so confusing. I don't know why they did that. It's throwing my eye. So anyway, so we used the 2 different ones. One of them, the little messenger guy, he will jump ahead a season. Normally, you can only go and place people in the season that you're in, and everybody, once they're done and they're passed, they have to sit and wait for everybody else to finish in that season before you move on. Well, the messenger can cheat and he can go ahead, and then the little postman guy, he can go back to places that you've already been, which is also something that you can't do. You can only be in the here and now, in the present moment. And so it was fun because we were going crazy time traveling back and forth and sniping places from each other and stuff. And then occasionally somebody would strategically wait until I ended my turn, because when you end your round, you pick up all of your pieces, and then you're like, oh, I just so happen to have this little time traveler guy, and I'm going to go back to this spot that just opened up. And it's like, and it's really fun. This game goes so quickly, though, because you go to, 25 victory points?
Yeah. I think it's 30 with Is it 30 with the new expansion?
I think so. I think you're right. And it's funny because at first it seems like no one's getting any victory points. It just seems kind of like a slog at first. You're kind of slowly building up. You got some grapes, you might fulfill an order. And then all of a sudden you blink and somebody's 5 points away from ending the game. And you're like, oh my gosh, it picks up so quickly. It's another one of those. And I just love the way they do that. Your little engine, once it gets going, just starts going crazy and you're fulfilling orders like mad. I love this game. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So much fun.
It's all right.
Excuse me. Part of the fun is the cards. You never know what you're going to get because there's stacks of cards that you can get for every season. Now in spring, you get different types of grape plants that you can plant. So, okay, whatever. But then summer and
fall,
winter, summer and winter are all these rando specialists and specialty cards that just feel game breaking sometimes. They're like, you can fulfill an extra
There's
wine
an expansion
order.
that we haven't bought that supposedly balances the cards.
Also fun. And then, and then fall is the wine orders that you're going to fulfill. So every season you can be going and getting these cards and playing these cards. And, oh, man, they're just fun because you never know if you're going to get... There's some that are just so good.
And we play with the buildings expansion as well.
Yes. And that is fun, too, because, like, you got one this last time that was crazy good.
Yeah.
And... you could just take your worker and go there, and only he can use that building.
Right.
And so he's getting this crazy power, and I'm like, oh, I kept digging until I found a really good one because I was like, I want a super good one too. This is crazy. I love it. So it's such a good game.
You're practically beaming.
I am. It's my favorite.
But not my favorite.
Rude.
Because I got one more game to talk about.
Not everybody's right 100% of the time.
Like a broke clock, right twice a day. Yeah.
You're
Anyway,
a broke clock.
take your viticulture. I love viticulture. It's one of my favorites.
I was gonna say, quit talking smack about viticulture.
Viticultures are 7 combined. Number 7.
Wow, it has dropped. How dare?
How
dare?
Because it gets replaced by my number 1 game that we played, Dead Reckoning.
RBD, this do be the best.
Spoilers.
Game. What?
You might find this in my top 10 of my top 100, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But anyway,
what?
maybe we'll see where it lands. I haven't made my list yet. Dead Reckoning, my favorite game of last year. It's not even close. Not even close. My favorite game of last year. This game is a Merchants Marauders killer for me.
What'd you say?
It's very heavy. So we been waiting to play the expansions for this. There's 2 sagas that are kind of campaigns. You can either play them in story mode, or you can play them in campaign mode, or you can play them in both. We decided to we looked up how the quickest way to get the new content, and John DeClaire, who's the designer, said throw everything in and get lots of stuff. And so we threw both the sagas in and all the expansion stuff in together.
It's so much fun.
Played it all at the same time.
So much fun.
So we got all these crazy stories going on all at once. And what's funny is Rebecca just happened to do everything for one expansion. I happened to do everything for another.
And it was completely random. It was so
random.
cool.
So we're probably halfway through the stories. So we're gonna play it one more time, and I suspect we'll probably get through the story. So 2 plays, maybe 3 plays,
and get us.
We'll get all the saga
Well, you
stuff.
sort of kind of top deck some cards, but what's neat is some of the cards, because you go to travel to the different islands, and that's where the cards are, and you can go get them. They have cards specifically that are made for you to go through the deck and find these different the story cards. So it kind of helps bring them out for you, so you don't have to struggle to find them. And I loved that. And sometimes you come across them anyway. Really, really fun. The adventures are hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
They're so interesting.
So if you don't know, Dead Reckoning is a pirate-themed game. It uses the card crafting system that's in like Mystic Vale and some other fantasy game that we didn't get. Basically, your crew starts out as a bunch of crappy crew guys, and eventually you're going to improve them and level them up and get new abilities and all sorts of stuff. You're going out, you're exploring the board, you're going and conquering islands, building forts and stuff on those islands, you're collecting treasure. You have an achievement system similar to Side, where like if you win 4 battles, you completely achieve something. If you get 30 money, you get an achievement. If you sink a ship, you get an achievement.
Yep.
So you got this achievement system, which I love in games. I love the pirate theme. I love the stories that we're playing now. It's very interesting, very weird and interesting and dangerous.
I know I want to talk about them, but I don't want to spoil it
Right.
for people that have not played it yet. So
So-
I'll just
So if you want
for a while,
if you want to just get the expansions, but you still want to do the story, I recommend just jumping in.
oh my gosh, it's
and
greatness.
doing both sagas at the same time. You got the Kickstarter set, and just go for it.
It's pretty fun.
You also has a campaign mode that, like I said, you can play either with or without the story, where you score points for doing different things.
Which is cool because the cards will tell you when you get those
Yeah, you get,
campaign
like,
points.
if you do this, you
walks
get a
through
point,
it.
or if you do this other thing, you get 2 points.
So that's pretty cool. I had a lot of fun this last time too. I really stacked up. Like my captain, I paid more attention to the goals, and so one of them is you level up people, a certain number of people to level 4. And my captain, it was so funny. You were watching to see when he would turn up in my deck because he would want to attack me. But my captain had
I made
when
sure
you max him
I made
out.
sure he was in the discard pile.
Yeah, because when
went
I
to attack him.
max him out, he has a cannon on his card naturally, and then I had like
He had
some-
5 cannons.
yeah, he had 5 cannon. I know I had
5
some
attack power,
crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
obscene
avoided
on
that
one
guy.
card.
If I thought she might have her in her hand, I'm like, I'm not fighting you.
It was so funny. He's like, "So, what do you have over there, huh?" Just check
As soon as that captain gets discarded, it's time to swoop in. I see your
still-
captain's gone on shore for leave. Attack!
It was a lot of fun because last time I really loaded up some people because I was trying to get that goal, and so I was maxing them out, and it's, oh man, blasty blast, so much fun stuff. Oh, I want to spoil the stuff so bad. It's so much fun.
But it is very dangerous doing the story. It's highly dangerous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just that. We'll leave it at that.
So there he is, my favorite game of last year. Not even close. Probably going to be very high on my top 100, which is a great transition to the next part, which is that's pretty much it for tonight. I suspected with all these games, our show was going to be just talking about all the games we played.
We're gonna build up some shenanigans soon. I hope. This was shenanigan light.
It was Shenanigan Light, but it
We
was
need
a
to-
lot of information about a lot of good games. So
That's true. We all needed to catch up.
So one
Yeah,
week
let me
from tonight,
chit-chat.
1 week, 7 days, 1 week from tonight, my top 100 of all time starts.
Gosh, so
top
soon.
100
This is gonna
of
be
all
fun.
time starts. That would be January 10th, unless you're in over in Australia and that part of the world, then it would be January 11th. January 10th. Well, actually, for Hawk School, it's January 11th as well. So.
That's true.
So, 1 week from tonight, my top 100 of all time starts. We'll do the intro, talk about how I made my list, talk about maybe some trends and some things about it, and then you'll get a bonus 10, 110 to 111.
Whoop, whoop.
Not 110 to 101, not 111. 110 to 101.
11sies.
A bonus 10.
11.
Then 2 weeks from tonight, January 17th. Great Calling number 4. I looked it up. This is the
It is our
fourth Great Calling. Great Calling. We're gonna do it a little different this time. Before I just picked some games myself and let Rebecca just reacted to them pretty much. This time we're each gonna pick 50 games that we think might potentially be cool, or maybe there'll be some larks in there just for fun. And
Fun, he
we'll
says.
merge those lists together, and we'll get somewhere from 50, which is highly improbable, to 100, which is even more improbable. No, 50 is probably more improbable than 100. And we're just going to go one at a time, rapid fire, voting whether they cull or not cull.
With
So
our
we have
typical-
little voting things. If we both vote cull, it's gone.
Right.
If we both vote keep, it stays. If we vote opposite, one cull, one
You gotta
keep.
sell it. You gotta sell it.
The keeper has to justify the keeping
Okay.
of the game.
That's fair. That's fair.
There you go. We're going to rapid fire.
Burn them all.
Somewhere between 50 and 100 games are going to get called. So,
Woo.
I suspect there's going to be lots of kids' games on there. I suspect there's going to be some Shelf of Shame games that we probably will never play on there. There's probably going to be some games that we haven't played in a decade on there. Yes,
Maybe.
yes, there's games we haven't played in a decade on.
Are you serious?
I'm sure. I bet I can find some.
No.
I will
say nay.
Anyway, 2 weeks from tonight, the Great Calling. Then 3 weeks from tonight, we'll actually have some shenanigans. So January 24th, we'll have shenanigans.
You need a cold game neutral. You live around here?
I don't know what we're going to do with our cold games.
Top 5 on the spot piratey words. That's a good one. I like that. We'd have to do that sometime. Piratey words.
That's it for tonight,
Arr.
folks.
Yar.
So what we for tonight? My top 100 starts with the bonus 10 and the what do I call those? The introduction. The introduction to my top 100.
I'm excited about this.
I am too. I'm curious what's going to happen.
Do you feel like I know you haven't done it yet, but do you feel like you're going to see any dramatic changes? Now, you typically have more turnover than me because you new stuff.
I suspect
like style
there might
games?
be less variant this year than previous years.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Until I literally just take a bunch of games, throw it in that
and
start picking games and see what happens.
This is gonna be interesting.
And unlike some people, I don't change it. Whatever pops out, that's my list. Whatever happens, happens.
Well, the only time I have to change anything is because I forget a game somehow. So that's why'd you at me like that?
All right, folks, that is it for tonight. Thank you for sticking around to the end. You get a gold star. Where's the gold star?
It's right here. You're all blinded by the light. Okay.
And as always,
we'll
see you in the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hi, everybody. I pushed the wrong button.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.